もできるんだね。
近くで見たらすごいカッティング出ましたか。
ああ、とても上手に。
天下のブローチのカッティングがとても綺麗に光を反射するので、反射率について考えていたら余計なことを考えずに済みました。
What's going on, my friends? We have another week here of Secrets of the Silent Witch. This was episode number 6, and I definitely don't want to say flawless, but because that would indicate this was like a 10 out of 10 episode, but I think this was like another 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10 episode. Like, there were so many moving parts in this week's episode, from the dancing lessons to Monica becoming more vocal, to her getting closer to her little kitty cat, Nero, you know, with dancing lessons, to her ending up at the end of the episode not only dancing almost perfectly with Cyril and noticing that he has kind of changed and she's kind of the reason behind it. I don't think she noticed that part of it, but she did notice that he's kind of back to his self again, kind of the person that, you know, he was kind of struggling who he was for a little bit. He's back. And then her getting ever closer to Felix, the prince, you know, just kind of continues to be this ever-growing relationship as his interest continues to, you know, climb week after week after week. So, you know, she was able to kind of go in and knock down the dances, and we ended really well, and we ended with some really funny moments with her not thanking the prince to dance, but her thinking that he had a really beautiful brooch, and that's kind of what was able to get her mind off dancing and stuff, and everybody yelled at her, and it was a really, really funny moment. So we have the initial dance lessons with her and some of the other members and some of her other peers. Then we have the tea, and there was a whole tea section, and of course she's getting bullied once again by one of the girls who is out for her. Because, you know, when she got pushed down the stairs and whatever, like, there's one girl that's like, oh, Monica Everett, or Monica Norton, whatever. Like, blah, 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 blah. So they once again are bullying her, and they threw away her tea leaves, even though she didn't have her thing on there. And she ended up presenting coffee, and she presented it as, yeah, I'm always the oddball out, so this kind of makes sense that I would be here once again. But she was able to get ever closer to her friends, which was Casey, and then I think the other girl's name is Colette, I think it is. So the other two girls there, and then there's the third girl, which was a black hair girl, which she is, I guess she's like a villainous type, but really she's like a book girl. Apparently she's just kind of like, she's like a walking library of knowledge that they talk to her, but she's very prickly and very intelligent, and Monica thinks that she's the silent witch. I don't know how she would put that two and two together, but just because of Monica's personality and just the whole moment that she has as she's kind of describing the silent witch of like, oh, you know, even when she got the, you know, the part of the 7 sages, she said no words, and Monica's like, it's because I was nervous, and she was like, because she didn't want to talk to any plebeians, and she was like, no, that's not it. And then she's like, when she did XYZ, like she said nothing because they're not worth their time, and she's like, no, I was scared of this crowd. It's really, really funny moment. So, you know, several different things happened, but it all attributed to Monica's growth as a character, to her getting closer to Felix and Isabel and Nero and Cyril and Colette and Casey and the other girls and the other guys, you know, of her student council. So it's all in growth. Now, nothing really big spectacle happened. This was all just a school-focused episode with her becoming more social and realizing, you know, her train of thought, right? Because she kind of took us through her memory of her father, how he was always trying not to please people, but he was always trying to enhance people's lives, and he wanted to be counted on and stuff like that. But that ended up to him, I guess, getting put at the stake and her having to watch her father burn, which is insanity. So she took a different avenue in life with like, I want nobody to have any expectations of me ever. But she's obviously accomplished a crazy amount of stuff. But she wants to be left alone in that matter, you know. But she's now coming to the realization that having relationships is a good thing. So, you know, she's kind of coming to that realization as she gets closer to, you know, some of these different characters in the show, which I think is a big attribution to kind of her growth, and we're kind of seeing it real time, and it ends up being fun and cute and adorable and funny and charming, and really well written as well too. So definitely want to give its flowers where they're deserved. But another fantastic week. Silent Witch continues to be literally, I think, if not the best new anime, at least the top 2 or 3 brand new anime this year / this season. It's just really, really good. And I think, once again, I know I said this every single week, but if you are watching this alongside me, you know, not necessarily alongside me, but if you're watching it this season, we are just simply eating good with one of the good ones this season. All right, friends, that's all I got for you. I'll see you guys next week for episode number 7. Have a good rest of your day, week, month, year. Peace out.